against a team that knows what they're doing from set pieces.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be one of those games where I don't think Cascade's going to get a lot of shots. They have two players who appear to be 6'4", and they've got people who can serve the ball. So I'm going to assume that anytime they get over the 50-yard line, those two people are going to be standing right on top of Marshall. And his height better work.
I'm taking a look at the lineup, and I got to rub my eyes real quick. Quill Tegenfeld-Foman appears to be playing at center back next to Gavin Keenan. Hayden Miller is not on the pitch, and this feels like one of, if not the first matches he hasn't started. So already before a ball has even been kicked, the ball has been kicked now, it feels as though Vashon are taking a gamble. And Cascade Christian have it going down the left-hand side immediately. The right back for Vashon, Isaac Newcomb, having to get into his defensive bag. He does enough to hold up the left winger of Cascade Christian, and it's picked back up in the midfield by the right winger of Vashon Island. That's Ryland Cannot, looking to outlet Mason Haynes, even though that pass was under hit. Cascade Christian win it back and immediately go long. Stepping across is Quill Tegenfeld-Foman to win the header, and it will go out for a Cougars throw on the far side by the 50-yard line.
Do you think Quill is in there because of his heading abilities?
I mean, maybe, but by no stretch of the imagination is he a better center back than Caden Miller. There must have been something. He must be missing the game, but if Miller's out, then you think that Finn Kennan is the natural replacement in that role, not Tegenfeld-Foman.
But again, it's about heading. I mean, look at the size of those people up front. They're going to be serving balls in. So maybe the coaches said, we need a header in there.
Maybe that's it. Run through the lineups real quick. The rest of them, Wade, as previously mentioned, is in goal. We'll get back to that in a second. As Cascade Christian have the ball inside the box, and it was a crucial tackle by Finn Kennan to send it out for the Cougars' first corner of the game.
Okay, this is last year.
Oh, yeah.
This is last year right now.
PTSD already setting in for how dominant the Cougars were from set pieces in that district final game at Clahalia. I mean, we just got dominated in the air in that game. We'll see if we've learned anything since then, but, man, you were right. Those are some tall kids in there. Ezekiel Gopal, the tallest of them all, whipped it towards the near post by the Cougars, headed off the line by the Pirates. I think it was Keenan. It might have been Tegenfeld-Foman, not cleared all the way by Vashon. Plenty of bodies around the ball now, and in the end, it's Cobb Migeter who gets it away for the Pirates. Still in possession of the Cougars until they give it away cheaply. Kampmeyer picks it up in the middle and finds McLean. Can Vashon counter? No, they can't. Not a great ball by Avery McLean on his weaker left foot. He was looking for Haynes running down the left-hand side. Picked back up by the Cougars. Mistouch by their left midfielder will lead to a Vashon throw.
It was a good ball. Should have put it to a little farther, a little more weight on it, because Mason can run.
Yeah. Here's Tegenfeld-Foman for Vashon. Back to Isaac Newcomb, pressured by Gopal on the far side, who nearly wins it for Cascade Christian. In the end, it finds its way all the way to Gavin Keenan at center back, whose pass towards Kennan wasn't the best, but it's won back by the Pirates. Now here's Cobb Migeter down the left-hand side. Vashon's first real foray forward into the attacking half is a decent one. Haynes is still going. He'll go for goal towards the near post, drawing a save out of the keeper, and Kampmeyer nearly got there, but pouncing on it was the Cascade Christian goalkeeper, Marcus McNichol. Good run by Mason Haynes, and actually, he got tackled off the ball by his own player, Oscar Cobb Migeter.
Well, tackled is a strong word. I think he just got in the way. But Mason kept going, full speed.
Sent long by the Cougars, one in the air by Keenan. Now Tegenfeld-Foman under heavy pressure from Ezekiel Gopal, and it's paid off. Cascade Christian can run the other way. They'll go for goal, not the best effort from the Cougars. They want a corner, won't get it. High and wide from the Cougars center midfielder. I believe that was number 14, J.P. Gua. I will do my best with the Cougars' names, but they have black jerseys with midnight blue numbers, so we'll see.
It wasn't Jehoza?
Jose Nobrega?
Yeah, it wasn't him.
I see. Well, okay, I'm going to know him because he's got the
wristband.
He's got the Lamine Yamal tape on his. It might have been Nobrega.
What's the number look like?
He's 10. But it's the light's got to catch it right.
Yeah. For
you to see, but he has the wrist tape, so that'll help.
We'll watch him.
Good crowd here at Lake Ridge.
Really good. There were a lot of people for the JV game. Oops, nobody behind.
Sent long by Keenan. Header won by the left center back of Cascade Christian. That is Solomon Lehman. You know him from last year, but he played last season. He played more of a center defensive midfielder role. I think he's dropped back a bit by necessity. They definitely lost a couple of defenders in that last graduating class, the Cougars.
Well, their left midfielder, who's running up the wing, basically, he's dangerous. He's a scary-looking guy. He's got good speed. He's cut in across people.
Thrown sent in by the Cougars, picked up in midfield by Gua. He's muscled off of it on the far side by Isaac Newcomb, and the referee will blow for the first free kick of the game. It goes the way of the Pirates. who will have a little bit of respite, as Cascade Christian seemed the stronger team in the first 5 minutes.
There's not, Vashon's game is possession, and we're not seeing it. But the other team's game is to run at people, and we're seeing it.
Thompson on the ball for Vashon. He had a couple of games playing in a deeper midfield role for the Pirates, but he's back up to his normal center forward position. The Pirates had the idea of sending it long to Kampmeyer, who will actually get there. August Kampmeyer at the edge of the 18 on the near side, stood up by one of the Cascade Christian defenders. He found a good ball into Haynes, who's now inside the box. Mason Haynes looking to play it across, and it was a good block by the right center back of Cascade Christian. That was Landon Dubois, and now it's Vashon's turn for a corner.
That was a great foo ball by August. I think they thought he was going to serve it from the outside left into the penalty area, and instead he hit a little dink pass for Mason, who was running across.
I mean, he's so intelligent in possession, Kampmeyer. It's just sometimes when you get him on the full field, he sort of loses that intuition as the corner's taken short. Newcomb at the corner of the 18 tries to whip one in towards goal. That was an easy block by the Cougars defender, and they look to go long immediately. You can see what the game plan is. Ezekiel Gopal trying to make a nuisance of himself, but is well dealt with by Oscar Kovmigater. He finds Avery McLean. Pressure coming from J.P. Bois. Dangerous pass there by Gavin Keenan. That's a second. But it's with Newcomb now on the near side. Got time to pick up his head and go for a Travella ball in towards Kampmeyer. That one's catching practice for McNichol in goal.
That was a great ball. I mean, it's a
good idea.
Well, I'm talking about the passing a little bit that we're doing because we're getting away by inches. I mean, it's really close. It's a little scary back there, to be honest.
Yeah, and Vashon just have to be ready for that. Like, we want to play our game. We want to play possession. But this is not a team that's just going to sit back and let us do it. They are a high-intensity, athletic side. That's going to make our life difficult no matter what. But that is a lovely ball by Gavin Keenan on his left foot to pick up Mason Haynes. Held up by a couple Cascade Christian defenders. He steps on the ball and waits for reinforcements, then takes it towards the byline. Well done by Haynes. He's played it across, looking for Thompson. Cleared only as far as McLean. Back at the byline. He found it across the face of goal. Deflected. Thompson away from the first. His second touch was too heavy, but it falls to Kampmeyer, who tries to place it. Blocked on its way in, and the Cougars can clear.
Feels a little bit like Charles Wright sometimes. Yeah, they had a lot of guys back blocking the shot.
Ezekiel Gopal now in a foot race with Gavin Keenan, a foot race that Keenan had about a two-step head start on. He gets it back to Wade. Now here's Tegenfeld Foreman, able to turn and play into space. He's got Newcomb on the near side. Isaac Newcomb started at left back, but he seemed a bit of a defensive liability, so I imagine they've switched. That's the reason they've switched him and Kovmigater, who's now sitting over at right back. I think JT probably saw what you saw, that left midfielder for Cascade Christian is dangerous.
He's a flyer, and he's not afraid to take people on, so I think we saw some success there. JT saw it.
Long throw-in taken by the Cougars, and the referee will blow for 2 hands in the back. The free kick goes the way of Cascade. About 10 yards inside the Pirate half and over on this near side, and it looks like it will be Billy Huff to take it for the Cougars.
This ball is going to be dropped at the 8-yard box, 8-yard line, right in front of the 6-yard box, right in front of Marshall. It'll be interesting to see if he comes out to get it, because the guy's going in for it.
Oh, Huff fires one in, and he mishit that. I think he was trying to get more curl on it. In the end, it came easily to Wade's near post, and he grabbed without much trouble.
That was disappointing for them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they want to, every single set piece they have will really feel like they're a true golden opportunity with how good they are from them and how poor Vashon have been defensively in the past. Now here's McLean, under pressure from Nobrega. McLean able to shield for the time being, then plays it back to Tegenfeld Foreman. Once again, Avery McLean again having to go to work in midfield. This time he doesn't come out on top. Picks that back up in the midfield by Cascade Christian. That's Sammy Godet for the Cougars. And now here comes that left midfielder, whose number is a little too far for me to see. And this time he will win a throw-in off of Ryland Cannot.
Well, he's taking everybody on. There's no question what he's going to do. Oh, it's a service.
No, it was a free kick. Yeah, you're right.
So we fouled him as he was trying to take people on, which makes sense for them. They've got the height. Put the ball in front of the goal.
So Huff will have an opportunity from another dead ball. This one is 25 yards into the Pirate half and all the way wide on the left. So not a shooting angle, floated in by Huff. Not a bad ball, but there's Wade to climb the ladder and get there ahead of any danger. Just taking a look at the Pirate bench, I do see Caden Miller, but he is in sweats and a sweatshirt, very clearly not available for this one. As Vashon a little too careless with possession, that was Kovmigater. Cleared away by McLean only as far as Godet, who looks to loft it towards an Ezekiel Gopal run that never came, and Vashon will take a goal kick.
So the other team, Cascade, is just going. Every time it goes forward. They're not going backwards. They go forward all the time. So if we can string some passes together, I think it'll help, but we're going to have to do it fast.
Yeah, they're sitting in really if you were looking at it on a spreadsheet, you'd call it a 4-1-4-1. They got that flat back four, and then it's Sammy Godet just sitting ahead of it with another four, and then Ezekiel Gopal as a center forward. And that is an excellent ball down the right-hand side towards J.P. Gua, who unfortunately for him was just offside. Good idea, though, by the Cougars, looking to quickly switch the point of attack. And again, that's that left midfielder. Looks like he's number 13, which would make him freshman Blaine Reed. Don't quote me on that. Again, it's quite far away.
Well, it was a great defensive play, actually, by us.
McLean's lost the ball, and Gopal in a foot race. Lovely sliding challenge by Finn Kennan. Gua's the first one to, it was Nobrega. And Vashon will take a throw-in off of a deflection. But they got to pick their heads up here. The passes are a little too loose in a game like this.
They haven't played anybody with this kind of speed.
Looking to go long again. Since
Mercer Island.
Yeah.
Mercer Island had speed.
Bit of a hopeful long ball sent by J.P. Gua, easily won by the Pirates. Now here's Thompson in possession. Didn't check his shoulder. Got lucky that he was able to get the pass up into Canard and tried to feed Thompson again. The pass was behind him, and again, Cascade Christensen looked to go the other way. Picked back up, though, by Quill Tegenfeld-Foman. And again, here's Isaac Newcomb at left back. Plenty of people wanting it for Vashon, making a run towards the box. Newcomb instead cuts in and tries to fade one towards Thompson at the back post. Too much curl, though, towards the goalkeeper, who claims easily.
Nice ball. Good attack. Clearing from one side to the other, taking the space.
Well, Isaac Newcomb certainly works at left back when we're in possession. The only question are his defensive abilities up to snuff enough to where he doesn't become a liability as Kampmeyer. Very poor pass by him, easily won, but then picked back up by McLean, who looks to send in Haynes. He'll get there ahead of the goalkeeper, who has committed. Haynes looking for the back post, and he's hit the post, and it's stayed out. Best chance of the game so far. Mason Haynes curses his luck at the exact same time that Cascade Christian thanked theirs, and they can look to go the other way now. Here's Jose Nobrega. This game really never stops as Finn Kennan and Gavin Keenan combine to win it back for the Pirates.
That was a great run. That's the kind of thing we haven't seen a lot of this year.
I see. It's number 11 at the left midfield position. That's Lucas Lehman. That makes more sense. I remember him from last year.
Junior, senior?
He's a junior.
Oh, my. Yeah. He'll be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to watch him again.
Younger brother of senior Solomon Lehman, who's starting at center back for the Cougars. Or, well, now he's sitting at more of a right back position, Lehman.
Okay.
Going to come for the Cougars on the far side, 10 yards inside the Pirates' defensive half. That looks like a handball off of Tegenfeld-Foman, and it will be called as such.
Okay.
And again, here we go again. It's another free kick for the Cougars. This one slightly more in than the last two.
Well, Marshall did a good job. He made them afraid of high balls.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to try and drive. I would try and drive it if I were them.
Well, what it is about new goalkeepers, they're a lot stronger at things that are high than things that are low. As the ball is again lofted in, and Waze completely whiffs it, as has Nobrega on the volley. He had the goal wide open. There were a couple Pirates ahead of him, but with his quality, he'll be wishing he had done better. But now here comes Gopal down the right-hand side, and that's well dealt with by McLean.
Yeah, I don't know if his quality is that good. It seems like the 10th ball he's touched has kind of stumbled over it.
But he has enough of quality where when it falls to him on the volley and there's no goalkeeper in the net, you'll want to at least hit the target.
Well, I've said this before. Bad players make everything look difficult. Good players make things look easy. And great players make things look inevitable. He's not making it look inevitable.
Wrong throw and taken by the Cougars. Keenan up to win the header, but this one will bounce the way of a corner kick.
Yeah, give somebody a strike and give Mason a shot in front of the goal. It's going to hit target.
Yeah. Well, that time he didn't.
Well, he did hit target.
I guess that's true. He did hit the goal.
It didn't hit the net. Okay, here we go again. Last time they went from the front to the back. Watch the front guy on the near post. He's going to turn and run to the back, and the back score run to the front.
Exactly as you say, Crudo, and it's towards the center of the box. Punched away unconvincingly by Wade, but Thompson was the first to it. Excuse me, not Thompson, it was Cobb Migater. And now Haynes can battle. It's a 1v2 at the moment for Mason Haynes. He won't mind those odds too much, but now the Cougars come back as Haynes looks to flash a diagonal pass towards Kampmeyer, who has a chance here. Is able to keep it in. No, he isn't. Even if it had stayed in, he had to sacrifice his body to do so, and it would have been easy for the defense.
Their goalkeeper's glued to the goal line. There's 3 balls now he put through that he could have come out and picked up. So that's good for us.
Yeah. I'd like to apologize real quick. I'm not totally sure on if the goalkeeper is Marcus McNichol or Cole Lumen. Lumen is listed as 00 on the roster, so I think actually I should go with him. As Lewis Thompson, with a couple of keepy ups, gets it off of goal Paul and wins a throw-in.
It was a nice ball. Good skill.
Gets it back from McLean off the throw-in. Waiting for a pass to open up. Eventually gets it back to Keenan, who turns the corner around Nobrega and can burst into the space. Then tries to curl one. I think he wanted Tegenfeld-Foam and didn't wrap his foot around it enough, and it's easy for Lumen and goal.
So I'm sure that the other coach told their goalkeeper to start coming out a little bit, because he's made things happen that shouldn't happen. Ooh, that was hands in the back.
Up top from Sammy Godet, using the shoulders of Thompson as a means to get up there. I think good call from the referee, considering he called the 2-push in the back on Vashon earlier.
Oh, that one was pretty obvious.
Yeah,
he had 2 hands on...
And it's funny, Godet's really tall. You'd think he wouldn't actually need to... he's taller than Thompson.
Yeah, but nobody wants to get hit under the chin as they're jumping up.
Loaded in by Keenan, not cleared from Cascade Christian. Haynes gets a touch, and Haynes scores! Cascade Christian falls asleep at the back, and seconds, if not thirds, from Mason Haynes. Somewhat against the run of play, but he makes it 1-0.
He's quick. If he's in front of the goal, he's going to get a ball.
Yeah.
If there's anything available. He got it with the outside of his right foot reaching waist high, just as the goalkeeper would come out to reach for it. Great ball.
It was a really good ball from Gavin Keenan. We know he has that quality off of his left.
Yeah.
But if you're Cascade Christian, I mean, obviously you're disappointed to be 1-0 down, but you're not disappointed by how the game's going.
Not yet, but, they're showing a weakness. There's a lot of space behind them, and we're looking like we're figuring that out.
I think what they wanted to do is they don't want to sit back. They're committing players forward. But when you're up against Mason Haynes like that, you can't totally do that as Fowler's come in for Vashon. It looks like he's replaced Kampmeyer, as has Shrestha coming in for Ryland Knott. So Mason Haynes will shift over to the right-hand side, Fowler through the middle, and Shrestha off the left.
That's adding speed. Obviously, JT is seeing what's going on. They're pushing out. There's a lot of space, winning balls in the middle.
Yeah. So I think with Caden Miller out, their solution has really been, well, obviously we're going to have Gavin Keenan be our main center back, and then Tegenfeld-Foman and Kennan can kind of operate as a stopper-sweeper pair next to him. One will step up as a 6, one will drop back as the other center back at just, whatever time makes sense for that. Here's Newcomb on the near side. That's wide by Gua. And Newcomb's been dispossessed illegally in the eyes of the referee. Crowd doesn't like it, but he's established that he's going to call this game tight. And if you're going to call this game tight, that is a foul.
Good for Vashon. Last year, Cascade was in our head. Fouls from first ball.
Lofted in by Keenan, not quite as good as the last one, but still not cleared by Cascade Christian again. Tegenfeld-Foman went for goal. He had it saved. The flag was up for offside. Tegenfeld-Foman's making the point that it came off of a defender, but I still think you call that. It was more of a deflection off of the defender. Either way, the keeper made the save.
It was close. The ball was looped up real high. Their defenders went to head it, and they missed it.
Man, this middle school, their bleachers here are the perfect size for this crowd to completely fill it.
That's great.
Sent long by the Cougars. Newcomb will beat Gua to it. Now he's cutting inside. Still going Isaac Newcomb. He looks to feed it through to Mason Haynes, and again, that's overhit. And it seems like Vashon, it's clear their plan is to play through balls into Haynes, but they haven't quite figured out their distance yet.
Well, I think he held the ball a little too long. It was on very quickly.
Here's J.P. Gua up against Isaac Newcomb. Gua floats a good ball in towards Jose Nobrega. Carmager will have to get this right. He hasn't quite done so. Still going is Cascade Christian. It's Lucas Lehman who went for it from a tough angle. Walks on his way in. Lehman again putting it across, and good header by Carmager. For a third time, here's Lucas Lehman up against Fowler. Lehman gets to the byline. Carmager comes across. It's still not clear, and then Wade pounces on it.
Head first dive by Marshall into the feet of the freshman.
Yeah, that's slightly unorthodox. You can tell he hasn't been at this goalkeeper thing for too long.
Yeah. And the good thing was,
heavy touch by Newcomb, almost allowed Gopal to get there. It falls to Keenan, squares it for Finn Kennan. And again, he looks to play it long and low. Tough one for Haynes to deal with, but he's got there. Now Fowler has the ball, and he'll foot one in towards Yvonne and Cresta. Again, that's overhit, and again, the goalkeeper sees it comfortably roll into his arms. Distributed quickly over here to Solomon Lehman. Over at right back, he gives it into J.P. Gua, who had a good idea with the through-the-leg turn, just ran out of green. It goes out for the Vashon throw-in.
Nice dummy play. I mean, it would have been better if the forward had realized what was going on.
I'm not sure he was leaving that for the forward, though. I think he was hoping it would stay in and he could do Newcomb for pace.
Well, the forward started coming across, and I thought, well, he's going to walk onto it, but he kind of slowed up when it was happening. So it wasn't a planned routine.
No. That long by Kennan. Good control by Hegenfeldt-Bowman on his chest. It falls to Kabagater over on the right. He's beaten to the punch by Lucas Lehman, but gets a little bit lucky to win it back. Now here's Haynes, shielding with his back, turning the corner and trying to feed it through to Shrestha. That one's blocked on its way in by the Cascade Christian defender, Landon Dubois. And free kick is called against the Pirates.
Team's a lot like last year.
It is.
A little less violent from the other team, but it has the same feel to it.
Sent long and low by Cascade Christian. Thompson's the first to get a touch to it, but it falls to Dubois on the left-hand side. Now Lehman back to Dubois. Cascade Christian just inside their own half. Dubois goes low into Lucas Lehman. Cascade Christian struggling to switch the point of attack. They eventually get it into Godet, who finds Nobrega. Decent pass around the corner as Gopal's in a wrestling match with Finn Kennan. And in the end, the whistle goes the way of Vashon.
We're going to see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of quick through balls from both teams. This is not I don't think Gavin serving ball 70 yards is going to be the secret here. I think it's going to be the quick plays around the box.
Keenan goes long off the free kick, looking for Haynes. Header missed by Dubois. Haynes can get to it. It's left for Fowler, who stayed on his feet and touched it in for 2-0. No. Referee has blown up for a free kick. I think he was looking at Haynes on that one, dragging the defender back. I think, again, if this is how you're going to referee this game, that is probably a foul.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
The central defenders on Cascade are really struggling with any high ball.
Yeah, it seems to be their weakness.
I mean, they've missed 3 or 4 of them. The goal was basically a serve ball that they didn't head out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a weakness for them.
Vashon haven't looked 100% from them either, but they've been tested a little bit less as Thompson goes to ground. Referee tells him to get up. The ball finds its way to Tegenfeldt-Bowman, who looks to release Mason Haynes. And the referee's gone back, I think, on an advantage call. Seems to be having a conversation with Thompson and Nobrega here. We'll see what comes from it. He gestured as if it was a Vashon free kick. I think he was playing advantage, but when nothing came of it, he's bringing it back for the foul.
Yeah, their player came in late.
And I think when you know the history and know these teams and know the way that this game is probably going to go, this referee's taking the right approach. You call this game tight.
Yeah, I would do it. We're in the same boat here, except we don't have any tall guys, but drop it in.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do.
Keenan does just that, headed upwards by Haynes, down by Shrestha. Kabagater gets to it on the volley and couldn't direct it.
We're getting every first and second ball.
Yeah, they're really floundering in the box in kind of a similar way that we did against them last year.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of weird because we don't have anybody tall, but we're winning every header.
Yeah.
And then the second balls as well. So, I don't know. I think there's going to be some more damage coming from that kind of stuff. Again, I don't think we're going to see our patented pass until you drop game.
Another substitution taken by Vashon. It's Knott coming in for Pierce Fowler. As, again, we've got another free kick. It'll go the way of Cascade Christian. This ref really is calling anything to do with hands.
Yeah. All the pushing. There's a lot of pushing that goes on. You were asking why somebody tall would push somebody when they're heading. You want to get hit in the chin.
Yeah.
So you see tall guys do a lot of pushing.
Mm-hmm.
They want to clear the space around them.
I guess that's true. If somebody's coming up from below you, headbutt in the chin can't be too fun.
Broken nose. Every tall guy over 6'3" is broken nose. Oh, this is interesting.
Free kick. Referees having a bit of a talking to Thompson, I think. Now Cascade Christian will get their free kick. It's just inside their own half.
Too far.
Yeah, under hit. And now the referee's blown up again. What's he giving here? A push off of someone. I think it was a push off of a Pirate. So Cascade Christian have like their 10th free kick of the game, but their first one from a shooting range and angle.
So they don't know our goalkeeper. He's very tall. I'd probably drive this. I'd push it to the side, drive it low, hope to catch him.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Marshall is he looks like a goalkeeper.
Oh, he does. He's huge. And he's got a good wingspan. He'll get anything that's up. But I think if they're smart, they'll just roll the ball and strike through it, hope it goes between the defender's legs or through the wall, and keep it low.
It's Lehman or Gua. Gua with the left, Lehman with the right.
I predict if he hits it high, it's going to be safe. Let's see what he does.
It is Lehman who leaves it for Gua, who goes towards the top corner. It hit the crossbar. I don't know if Wade got a hand to it first, sent back in by the Cougars, and the Pirates send it away.
Yep.
And Mason Haynes is blown up for a push in the back, although if the referee had just waited a second, Shrestha would have been in.
Yeah, Marshall saved that.
Yeah, I think he kicked that onto the crossbar. If that is the case, that's a great save from Wade. And again, you called it perfectly. It went high, and Wade got a hand to it.
Well, it was kind of straight at him. He's a big guy.
Sent long by Keenan towards the back post. Cobb-Migeter flicks the header on. Landon Dubois gets there and clears it away for the Cougars. Takes a bounce before heading towards Lewis Thompson, who's jumped upon by Ezekiel Gopal. And as it has been for the last 20 or so times, it's a free kick.
Yeah. Like I said, people clear space. When you're a tall guy, you like to clear space. But he's so tall, it's so obvious.
Mm-hmm. Free kick for Vashon, just inside their own half. You're just now joining us. Thank you for being here on KVCH LP 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, as Keenan lost it long towards Tegenfeld-Foman, well dealt with by Solomon Lehman, and the high boot is called on Tegenfeld-Foman.
Well, that was the first header they've gotten hold of.
Vashon up 1-0 against the Cascade Christian Cougars. We don't have a clock here, but we're maybe 20 minutes in. What's our time? 20 to 30 minutes in, something like that.
That's 28 if they started on
28 if they started right at 7:30, which they were pretty close to. Mason Haynes, the only goal scorer for us so far. As it's sent long by the Cougars on a great free kick, an easy header for Quill Tegenfeld-Foman. It gets to Haynes, who's beaten to it by Landon Dubois. Cleared away by Cascade Christian. Pirates want a handball, won't get it. Ball over the top. Best chance of the game coming for the Cougars. It's Ezekiel Gopal. Has he got it on target? No, he hasn't. It's just wide. That one trickled past Marshall Wade, and for a couple of agonizing seconds, it looked like it was going in. But just like Mason Haynes at the beginning of the match, a 1v1 chance of the goalkeeper goes begging.
Well, Marshall did a good job of coming out, closing the angle.
Mm-hmm. Yep, did enough to put off Ezekiel Gopal. As it's picked back up in the midfield by Solomon Lehman. He loses out to Isaac Newcomb, who shields Waugh off the ball in time for a throw-in.
Well, if I was that forward, I would have tried to drill past Marshall, because Marshall was coming out full speed. He didn't hesitate at all.
Played forward by Keenan in towards Shrestha. He can't hang on to it. One back in the midfield by Cascade Christian. Here's Jose Nobrega looking for J.P. Waugh. Couldn't get it off. Shrestha looked to flick it into Newcomb. That one doesn't come off. Sent forward by the Cougars. Ken wins it ahead of Gopal. Now here is Isaac Newcomb again on the near side. Tackled off of the ball, but it finds Yvonne and Shrestha, flicking it into the path of Newcomb. Beaten to it by Gua, but it's picked up by Tegenfeld-Foman. Vashon in possession just in their own half. Lewis Thompson dropping deep to get it for Vashon. He finds Ken and he swings it wide right. Cannot has to run out to meet it, but he's able to get there. Checks it back into Oscar Cobb-Migeter. Now Ryland cannot once again turns away from the challenge of Lehman. Good standing tackle by the other Lehman. And Cascade Christian come away with it only momentarily. Picked back up by Thompson. Pressured from behind, but he's won it. Here goes Lewis Thompson trying to muscle his way down the right-hand side until he gets absolutely blown up by the left center back of Cascade Christian, who came steaming across with only one thought in his mind.
Looked like a sandwich. The defender was coming in as our player was fighting off the guy behind him. Didn't see the guy coming in. He got crushed.
Thompson's a tough guy. He's back to his feet. If anything, that'll just make him mad. It'll be a free kick for the Pirates. And it is a yellow card for the Cascade Christian defender. It is Landon Dubois who has to check out for a substitution, the first booking of the match. The free kick is all the way on the right-hand side, just farther in than the 18-yard box. So not quite a shooting angle, but Shrestha on his left foot will have a good mind to try and pick out Gavin Keenan at the back post.
They have 3 people in the wall. Big mistake. You don't need 3 people at that angle.
Not here.
So one guy would be fine because they're leaving people in front of the box.
Yes. 2 hands up from Shrestha, floating it towards the back post. Not a bad ball. Just overhit by Shrestha. It goes out for a goal kick. It was Kampmeyer and Haynes who were stretching to try and keep it into the back post. Just couldn't do so, and Kampmeyer just gets under it.
No, he could have scored that. I mean, the goalkeeper was on the near post.
Well, I think from that angle in his mind, he's like, I'm going to try and hit it in that near post area, so maybe it'll go in, or maybe it'll find a runner at the back post. He just got a little too much height on it.
It was a good ball, though.
Yeah, and a really good idea. That's what you do from that range.
Yeah, that's why 3 people in the wall don't make any sense. He's not going to shoot from there.
No. Sent skyward by Finn Kennan. There's a scrum on at the moment. Gopal looks offside, but it won't get to him. Kennan sends it upward, as does Quill Tegenfeld-Foman. Newcomb has to put a foot in, and it will be a throw-in for Cascade Christian on the near side, right by the 50-yard line.
It's a great game. Mm-hmm. Very exciting.
Throw-in to come from Billy Huff for the Cougars. Huff sends it long, sort of towards nobody, headed away by Thompson, but back in from Godet. Now Gopal trying to float it over the top for Nobrega, well dealt with in the air by Gavin Keenan. And Cascade Christian will take another throw, and this time all the way by the Vashon corner flag.
Except for that one through ball where we were ball watching, Spence is playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
They're reading it. They're getting on top of balls. They're covering for each other. The through ball, we were just ball watching.
Yeah. Keenan's having a strong game again. Here's Billy Huff going for the long throw routine in towards Nobrega. It's bounced in the box, headed upwards by Keenan, missed by Godet, and now Shrestha can look to counter, but he's shown too much of the ball to the center midfielder of Cascade Christian, and Solomon Lehman comes away with it. Now here's Ezekiel Gopal turning away from Haynes, feeding a ball down the right-hand side. I think he wanted J.P. Blois. It goes all the way through to Gavin Keenan, who's a bit too lazy in possession and gets lucky that the pass deflected right back to him, not once but twice even.
That's the high pressure. Mm-hmm. I think they figured that out last year. They know we like to play out of the back.
This one will go the way of a corner for Cascade Christian. And Gavin Keenan, he has a real unwillingness to clear the ball. He likes sending it long, obviously, when he's trying to pick out a pass. But when he's under pressure, he always backs his skills to just get out of it with something clever rather than just putting a boot through it.
I would say 50-50. This is what the other team is counting on. Somebody in the back on Vashon to not clear it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have 3 people on one guy. Because they were doing a full press right there. Okay, same play as before. Front guy turns, runs in a loop behind. Guy from the back comes to the front. Here we go. Same thing.
Let's put it in swinger from the near side. It's a real floater, knotted down by Thompson. Newcomb will get to this at the corner of the 18. He's beaten one to it. Newcomb with a lot of green to run into down the left-hand side. Haynes is ahead of him. Newcomb is angled. A lovely ball to Haynes. He's around the keeper. Can he finish it off? No, he can't. He hit the post.
Great run.
What a counterattack by Vashon, and the touch from Nathan Haynes was just too heavy. But did you see the shape on that pass from Isaac Newcomb?
Beautiful. He got the ball in his own end, took off, attack space. That's what you do every time you get a chance. You want to attack space. It's one of my complaints about going backwards. If you have space, you attack it.
So Haynes is 2 strikes of the woodwork away from a hat trick at this point, but it remains 1-0 the way of Vashon. Cascade Christian with the ball over in their left defensive side of the field. It is Solomon Lehman over to his brother Lucas. Cutting inside and gets trucked by Ryland Cannot. Man, that one looks like when Landon Dubois came over and did the same thing to Thompson. You can tell that this is a chippy game, and these players have no problem taking each other down.
Well, they like playing in that back corner. There's 3 of them who love basketball.
I'll tell you what, I'm shocked he didn't get booked because that was a drop of the shoulder NFL tackle.
Well, he was going for the ball.
Hardly.
You know, people, you can do a shoulder charge.
Oops. I mean, that really was aggressive from Cannot. Here's Ezekiel Gopal trying to navigate his way around Kennan and Keenan. Can't do so. It was a sliding challenge from Finn Kennan that dispossessed the Cascade Christian center forward, and now the Pirates can look to go the other way. That pass from Thompson with 2 lights, and now here comes Lucas Lehman on the counter down the left-hand side. Todd Migeter in recovery. Lehman cuts away from him and cuts inside, then fires one in low. He wanted Jose Nobrega, blocked on its way in by Thompson. Now here's Joe Dett, fires one into the midsection of Kampmeyer, and it may have caught him in a sensitive area there. Kampmeyer is down.
Yep, I think it did.
Either that or the wind got knocked out of him. We'll see. But, yeah, that certainly looked like a painful one for Kampmeyer.
Yeah, it was a miscontrol, and the guy swung through it, and Kampmeyer came from his blind side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the guy knew he was even there. I think he was trying to send it down the line, or to the corner, I should say. This is a good game.
Yeah.
You know, Vashon's not doing Vashon stuff. I got a feeling Cascade's not really doing Cascade stuff either. There's a lot less fouling going on, more passing in the back.
Well, I imagine Cascade Christian are used to in most of their games just being able to bully the other team, like really dominate them on that pace.
Well, they are like watching it looks like a football team with wide receivers who can run.
Oh, yeah.
They look like stallions who are ready to run. But, you know, we've got some good runners, too.
I mean, we're pretty much all seniors with a few juniors. We're an athletic team, and that sort of thing is going to be harder to do against us. I think they just have to tactically refine their approach at the minute. Because the way the way that it's going right now, Vashon are looking like the team on top. Cascade Christian have had their chances, but Vashon have had better chances, and the score reflects it.
Yeah. But we hit the post twice.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to get caught doing that.
Yeah, Kampmeyer's picked it up in a dangerous area. He found Connaught on the right-hand side. He just couldn't keep it in on the far line. It will be a throw-in for the Cougars, just behind the halfway line. Lehman, now for Cascade Christian. Back to Huff, in towards the center midfielder, Brandon Ma. Cascade Christian, what they do, they get really stuck in possession as Haynes nearly beat Solomon Lehman to it. Cascade Christian, they look to play out of the back, but their problem is they have nobody in midfield who's able to come across and check in and allow them to play east to west, so they get stuck on one side of the field. What a ball! Here goes Ezekiel Gopal again. He's away from Wade. Open goal, 1-1. Well, he got unlucky the first time, not so the second time. That's the second time that Vashon have been caught ball watching. Gavin Keenan beaten to it by Ezekiel Gopal, and when he rounded the keeper from that angle, there was only one outcome, and this game has life.
Well, we talked about that in the first one. Marshall is not a trained goalkeeper. He comes running out like he's a linebacker. Mm-hmm. A goalkeeper, you come out, and as the player's ready to shoot, you set yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall's not setting himself.
No.
So if you're running at him, just push it past him.
He's not expecting, like it's not ingrained in his DNA to go down low, but really you go low because that's where the ball is. Yeah. It doesn't actually matter if what the person is doing, what they're looking like. You want to be where the ball is. But he just sees the person running through, and he stands up the person, and that's the easiest. Like, it's just a simple tap around him, and then the goal's open.
Well, as a goalkeeper, what you're trained to do is you have to set, because the player may shoot or pass it past you. So you come running out, but as soon as his leg comes back, you set yourself. Mm-hmm. If you haven't, they just run past you. Here it is.
Haynes in a nice battle with the center back of Cascade Christian. I think the referee said 6-1, half of a dozen to the other. As here's Tegan Felt-Foam, gives it back to Newcomb, who looks to drive one low. That one's blocked, picked back up by Thompson. Feigns a shoot, goes one way and then the other, and then will line one up and send that one to Mars.
Nice shot.
It goes out for a goal kick.
That was fun. He really wanted to shoot.
Yeah, he did.
He would have shot from 35, but he had to beat somebody, so he's 30, and then he had to beat another guy, and he was 25. And then he just said, I'm just going to shoot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have probably taken that shot from 60, and it would have still hit the post, top bar. I mean, it was going when he kicked it. He really wanted to hit it.
Yeah, you pick it up, like, when it's cleared away by the defense, and even when you're 10 yards away from the halfway line, you pick it up and you see goal, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, he really wanted to hit the ball. He just had to keep beating people to get the shot.
He's come to win it again, Lewis Thompson. This time doesn't quite get his feet right. It's cleared away by the Cougars. Vashon have a slight problem on their hands here as Ezekiel Gopal's in possession. He's done well to turn away from two Pirate defenders, but then he's beaten to the punch by Tegan Felt-Foam, who goes down in a heap, and Vashon win a free kick just inside their own half.
Okay. That was a good idea. our player got the ball. When you get a free kick, it's direct. You want to take it right away if you can. We tried to do it, but the other team read it.
Keenan floats one in towards the box. Header one first time by the Cougars. Godet scuffs his clearance a little bit, but it falls to J.P. Gua, who swings it the way of Lucas Lehman. Thompson beats it to it. Now here's Kampmeyer, Now it's Kampmeyer who spends too much time on the ball. Lucas Lehman is away from Gavin Keenan, who should not have stabbed to the ball there. He floats it in towards Gopal. Is the onside? Doesn't matter. Wade smartly off his line to get there ahead of the on-rushing Cascade Christian center forward. What was Gavin Keenan doing there? Why did he sprint all the way out? He has to hold his ground there.
Yeah, I think the guy was offside.
No, but if he had timed his run correctly, well, we'll get back to it. As here comes J.T. Gua. He beat Newcomb to it, but Isaac Newcomb recovers defensively, and now finally the underlapping run comes from Brandon Ma, who gets bodied off of it by Tegenfeld-Foman, and it will be a goal kick for Vashon.
That's just the same thing we saw before. It was just a shoulder charge.
Yeah.
And when you've got two guys about the same size, it looks,
The reason Knotts looked so bad is because it wasn't like that situation where Ma and Tegenfeld-Foman both have a chance at the ball. The guy that Knotts took out was on the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He came steaming in out of nowhere and planted him.
Yeah, but when you're a
Kampmeyer's lost it again. Here goes Lehman cutting inside. That's a good sliding challenge from Thompson. He certainly got the ball there. Back to Gavin Keenan, whose clearance is blocked. J.P. Gua brings it down in the box, tried to flick it on with the outside of his boot. Nobody there but Keenan, who clears it away. Stepping up to win it is Billy Huff. Now here's Godet up against Tegenfeld-Foman. He gets away from him and finds Brandon Ma, who wanted to shoot. Eventually plays it low in towards Nobrega, just inches away from his toe. But agonizingly for Cascade Christian, it goes wide for a goal kick.
Good ball. I thought he was going to shoot it, but at the last second he pulled up and tried to hit a forward who was onside by maybe a yard.
Yeah. All of a sudden, in these dying moments of the first half, Cascade Christian looked like the team more likely to score.
Well, that's what they're built for. They're certainly not built to head it out of the back.
No. Sent long by the center back Huff. Thompson gets his foot to it first. Second ball picked up by Brandon Ma. Now here's Gua up against Tegenfeld-Foman, who does well to hold his ground, but then plays a bit of a dangerous pass, and Vashon's blown up for a late push on Quill Tegenfeld-Foman. Vashon have a free kick deep inside their own half.
It's interesting because Vashon is not getting a chance to play their game. No. They're playing a game, but they're not playing their game.
No, we never play our game against Cascade Christian. They don't let us.
Yeah, but they don't. They're high pressure, hands in the back.
Header flicked on by Mason Haynes. Crudo wants a foul, won't get it.
Should have been.
Now, behind again. Gua over the top. Again, Gopal looking threatening, but he slipped and made it easy for Gavin Keenan. Actually got a foot to it, but nobody was there. Newcomb, heavy first touch. Picked up by Brandon Ma, who tried to feed it down the right. Couldn't do so. And the referee has gone for halftime. So 1-1 after 40. An exciting half. Chances for both sides. I think if each person took the chance that they maybe should have, the score would probably be 3-2 the way of Vashon. I think Mason Haynes hit the post twice, and then Ezekiel Gopal missed when he got around the goalkeeper. But Haynes has scored. Gopal has scored. It's 1-1, and it kind of feels just like we remember it.
Yeah. I really mean this. I guess either team can win because they're both kind of playing the same game. I think the other team's a little bit better at the game. We don't get as close on the through balls that they do. They get the ball to a forward, lay it off, and they're looking for quick splits. We're trying to put our passing game together and send longer through balls. Theirs is an easier game to be successful at, but both games can be successful.
I mean, and obviously these guys at this point in our history are probably our fiercest rivals, but man, I'm so grateful that we have a team like this in the Squally. Because the rest of them, they'll have a couple on years, a couple off years. You expect teams like Bellevue Christian and Seattle Christian to maybe get things together a little bit, but they haven't been strong over the last decade. So Vashon just walks those teams for the most part, but these guys always give it the game, and it's so fun.
Yeah.
This is such an excellent atmosphere to be in. The stands are packed. It's a good game, but what adjustments would you make if you're JT?
I would try and increase the amount of movement in the midfield. I like the ideas that we have splitting the defense. I don't think we're going to be able to just pass the ball around willy-nilly in the back. They put a high pressure on. So when they put pressure on, it's not just one guy. There are groups coming, 2 and 3. When they get a guy with his back turned into the attacking zone in our own end, they just put two guys on them. They're always ready to put pressure on, and they've got the speed and athleticism to really do it. That means that we're not going to be able to pass the ball around like we did against Charles Wright or anybody else. We're going to have to get the ball between the midfield and about the 20-yard line.
And I think another reason why we don't mess around with the ball at the back, Gavin Keenan is under so much pressure because he actually is without his center back partner, Caden Miller. Like, I think he's had the hardest game so far. He's made probably the most mistakes. But most of those aren't on him because he's actually playing next to somebody, whether it's Kennan or Tegan Felt-Foman, who just isn't a center back.
Yeah.
So they don't quite know the spacing, and he doesn't really – he struggles sometimes to communicate it. So he's really on his own. And he's done well sometimes. He's misjudged things sometimes. I think the change I would talk to Keenan about is really when you're in possession, better safe than sorry. These guys want to win the ball back and get us on the quick transition, and especially when you're without essentially Caden Miller as your safety net, you can't be taking those risks.
Yeah, it's tough. I would, if I were JT, I'd say play keep away in their middle third, upper middle third, outside the penalty area, between the 50-yard line. Go and do what we do in practice. That is Vashon. The problem is the way the other team works is this: they've got a target player up front. When it hits that target player, the target player doesn't just flick it through. They knock it back a little bit. When you knock it in a direction, the defense will have a tendency to follow that direction. And that's what they've caught us on a couple times. The player gets it, knocks it down. We come forward because we think the ball's going in that direction, and they turn and spin and put it over our heads, and the guy's already taken off. That's happened 3 times. They've gotten away with it twice. It's been pretty scary.
Where I feel like Vashon have had the most success going forward consistently, other than striking Haynes down the middle, is when Isaac Newcomb was over on this side and he pushed forward as a fullback. And what I see from that is I see the 2 wide players for Cascade Christian. You've got Lucas Lehman on the left-hand side, and you've got J.P. Gua on the right-hand side. Lucas Lehman is a lot more willing to track back.
Yes.
Gua doesn't want to defend.
No,
he wants to be up. He wants to be a right winger, not a right midfielder.
Yeah.
But they play with right and left midfielders because they're playing in really what is a 4-1-4-1, whatever you want to call it. They require, especially in a situation where we've got dangerous fullbacks pushing up, they require that work rate, and Gua isn't giving it. So if I was JT, I'd make sure Isaac Newcomb is staying at that left back position, and every chance he gets, pushing up, because there were at least 2 or 3 times when he had so much time on the ball to pick his head up and find a pass, and nearly did a couple times.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's the idea. The most dangerous you're going to be is actually, everybody thinks you're most dangerous in the other team's penalty area, the attacking third. It's not true. The place you're most dangerous is the launch pad area at the top of the penalty area to about the 40-yard line. That's why you play these keep-away games that are 20 yards by 30 yards, because that basically is that area of the field. Vashon needs to get into that area, or quicker releases from the 50 when there's space, kind of like what they're doing.
And I think it's tactical, but it's also psychological. When you've got a team that is constantly running at you, constantly pressing you, that sort of ramps up your nerves and decreases your willingness to, when you get the ball, actually calming things down.
Yeah. When
it's a super high-paced game, your decisions match that tempo. So when you get the ball in midfield in a game like this, you're thinking, I got to drive. You know, these guys are fast. But really, we've gotten the ball in midfield a couple times, and you think, well, go ahead and slow it down.
Yeah. Well, you basically described what we should do when you just said the lineup. You said they're running 4 defenders, 1 central defender who's kind of in front of them, and then 4 midfielders and another central player up top. So it looks like a line, single player, line, single player. The dangerous area is between those 2 lines where there's only 1 player.
And Newcomb gets in between those lines because their right midfielder doesn't track back.
That's right. You need to get into that space. And we're talking about the same thing. I'm talking about we got to go into that space and use it.
Yeah.
And you're saying, well, Newcomb's got to do it. Doesn't matter who does it. We just got to get into that space because there's only 1 guy there. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's his job, is to control that center area. 1 player cannot cover that zone. He's gotten lucky a few times. We haven't made the passes quick enough. We haven't quite connected up enough. But it's there. It's possible. Like you said, when somebody runs into there, which is the easy way to do it. Quill's done it once. Keenan's done it once. Gavin did it one time. They just took off and ran into that space, and suddenly he looked really dangerous because that one player who's supposed to get him, the other four are dropping back because they don't want to give up space. But this is a really fun game to watch tactically.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are always such a joy.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, what do you do if you're Cascade Christian? What changes do you make?
Well, unfortunately for them, unfortunately for us, I guess, their tactics are pretty much set in stone.
Yeah.
They're going to give away that central area so they can use that top area. They're really looking for, like you said, the outside right to put through balls through, to zip them in behind, to draw our forwards to the ball, our defenders to the ball, and then put it over the top or through the space. And that guy's got wheels. He can take off.
Sure. But then in that case, what do you say as the coach at halftime when you can't change too much tactically because this is how you played for the last however many years? What do you say to, he's got a whiteboard out right now, so he's saying something.
I would tell the defenders to start winning some headers because all the dangerous stuff has come from us serving balls in and them misjudging it and the ball dropping in the penalty area.
Right.
So I'd be telling my defenders, you got to win these balls. No more bouncing balls in the penalty area. It is dangerous and it's bad and they're quick. Vashon can finish. So they want to stop that kind of thing. They may have to start telling the guy on the right to come back and play a little more defense.
Yep.
It depends on how much they want to tie the game or win it or what do they want to do. He may choose not to. That player may just go, sorry, coach, I don't really do that. That's not my thing. Because he's got that kind of attitude. It's like before the player we're talking about, they're right midfielders. It's like there's a trick first and then there's a play.
Yeah.
So he's got to do a trick first and then he's going to do the play. I don't know if a coach can stop that. Maybe he's an exchange student. It's like he does a trick.
I don't remember him from last year, and he's listed as a junior. I'm guessing he's coming over as part of that Brazilian exchange program that they have.
He looks pretty tricky. He looks Brazilian. And he's got the whole kind of standing around look, and then he's going to be really dangerous. He's done some good stuff. He's put some good through balls. He's not a bad player. I just think their team is built to let him stand a little bit. And look at all the good keep away that they're doing. It's all on their left side.
Yeah.
We're not seeing any of that on this
No. That Lehman is really the Lucas Lehman on the left-hand side. Solomon Lehman kind of is just playing across the back line wherever he feels he's needed most or he wants to get on the ball as well. So Lucas Lehman really does the work for them as far as progressing, but the problem is he'll get the ball from Solomon or whoever, and his only option is to dribble or pass back because they have no one. Sammy Godet doesn't seem to have it in his wheelhouse to really play that number 6 on the ball, to come across, say, okay, I'm going to get the ball, I know what's around me, I'm going to turn, take it the other way, or we're going to pass back or whatever. So they can't play out of it, and Vashon have cornered them really easily when they get the ball over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that when I look at their midfielders, especially the center midfielders, usually have 3 types of center midfielders. You got a ball winner, you got a distributor, and then you've got a defensive player. You know what I mean? Everybody has a job. They don't really seem to have that. They've got one guy who's kind of doing everything. I wouldn't say he's a distributor. I guess he's winning some ball. He's kind of doing all 3. But it's hard for one guy to do it. We've got Quill, we've got Avery, we've got Kinnan. We got 3 guys, splitting the load. So they're in a little bit of a different situation. I understand why they just send more long balls. They don't have the 3 players who play like you need.
Well, players are back on here. We've got Wade, Kennan, Keenan, Newcomb, Cobb-Magater, Tegenfeld, Foreman, McLean, Thompson, Kampmeyer, Fowler, and Haynes. As Cascade Christian get us underway for the second half, sent back to their left center back, who at the moment is Solomon Lehman. He lost it long, looking for Ezekiel Gopal. Dangerous header backwards by McLean. Gopal might be in. Well dealt with by Isaac Newcomb, inverting from left back to see off the threat. Tegenfeld Foreman's got to be a little more careful as the ball is lofted in towards the 18-yard line. That one will be easy for Wade coming across.
It'll be interesting to see Wade's confidence coming out in the second half.
Yeah,
he's come out once. It was successful. The second time he got beat. So the third time is going to be a charm.
Forward by Keenan into McLean, who's able to turn and find Fowler. Heavy first touch from him, and Cascade Christian pounced. However, Thompson will pick up the pieces for Vashon down the left-hand side. He's surrounded by 2, now 3 Cascade Christian defenders, and it was the third sliding in who made the difference, sending it out for a Vashon throw.
There's going to be goals in the second half, by the way.
Really?
There's going to be goals.
Do you think so?
I think so. I do not think we're going to play 40 minutes of nothing soccer. I think there's going to be shots. And
Well, that's what's so exciting.
This is going to be a good half.
Throwing will come from Keenan on the far side. He lost it in the direction of Thompson, who let it bounce. Fowler will take an interest. He's knotted it down, but it was Lehman, I believe, was able to get across and clear it. Picked back up by Keenan, who's under some pressure. And again, he's lost it. Gavin Keenan flicked on by J.P. Guar. Recovering is Isaac Newton, who put in a tackle from behind. But it's ball to go, Paul. Marshall Wade flapping at the wind, but he gets a bit lucky where the ball bounced. And, man, that was not pretty from Vashon.
No, it's not good. It wasn't even effective. It just didn't. Something bad didn't happen.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Here's Gavin Keenan.
Well, now we're passing the ball around.
Yeah, calming it down. I mean, I'm sure that was part of the message that was said. Never mind. Long ball from
good
Cannon.
Good run.
Here's Fowler was on, though, coming from the right-hand side. He leaves it for Haynes. All roll cutting inside. Still going Haynes. Has a lot of space to run into. Haynes running inside the box. He'll go for goal. It was a hopper. Missed by the keeper. And Tegenfeld almost touched it in, but he's offside. That keeper got saved by the referee's assistant on the near side because that was a dribbler right towards him, and he just straight up spilled it.
He did. We said before the game when we were watching, I was surprised that this goalkeeper, he looked dicey.
Yeah.
And that was very dicey.
That was dicey. It was Cole Lumen in goal who just got saved by the assistant.
Well, that was not a planned thing. That was not an offside trap. That was just luck.
Here's Tegenfeld Foman losing out for the moment. Yeah. Ball deflects out for a Vashon throw on the far side. Pirates inside the Cascade Christian half for the moment as McLean touches it back to Keenan.
It was a long one. No, he didn't do it.
Nope, scoring it short into Tegenfeld Foman. Under pressure, gets away from the first, not the second. Here comes Sammy Godet up against Oscar Cobb-Migater. Godet takes it wide and then shows too much to Cobb-Migater, who gives it to Tegenfeld Foman. A lot of green in front of Tegenfeld Foman. Down the right-hand side, he wants Haynes. Can he get there? Keeper commits. Haynes plays it across, and it's in! Just like that, Bassett are 2-1 up. It was Quill Tegenfeld Foman who feeds it through to Mason Haynes. He loves playing against Cascade Christian. He's got 2 on the night, and it's 2-1 to the Pirates.
There you go. That's what you do. You win the ball, you put it through, and you get your fast guy chasing it. Who can finish?
And I, to be honest, I think that was a mistake from the goalkeeper. Haynes was at a difficult angle. The keeper had no need to come off his line there. He had defenders back, and moreover, there were Pirates making a run towards the back post. So if Haynes hadn't scored, he could have just rolled one towards the back stick, and somebody would have tapped it in.
Yeah, as well, the goalkeeper, when he came out at a bad angle. Mm-hmm. He came out to where the ball was going to be and not where it was. If you know what I mean. He was guessing where he thought the ball was going to be. Mistake. You have to be reactive. So it was a good ball by me. He took advantage of a good through ball. And here we go again.
Ball over the top from Keenan, looking for Haynes. This time the keeper times it right. Coming off his line, Lumen. Well, it was an early goal in the first half for Vashon.
Wow.
And it was an early goal in the second half.
That was a good kick.
Long ball by Lumen from goal. Second ball picked up in the midfield by Ma for Cascade Christian. He distributes wide. I'll tell you what, he saw the coach in black and tried to pass it to him. and I'll tell you what, when he made that pass, I thought the coach was a player.
I did too.
Yeah.
I thought he was an open. Mm-hmm. I thought, how'd this guy get open over there? Okay.
Here's Kennan for Vashon.
See, it's going to be really tempting for us to send every ball through now.
Mm-hmm. Cobb-Migater under some pressure, goes wide for Haynes. Heavy touch from him. Good step to take Lucas Lehman out of the game and then wins a throw-in off of the left back of Cascade Christian. That is Ben Hart.
Freshman here?
No, that's a junior. It's a junior. I thought it was a freshman, but it's not. Okay. Throwing for Cobb-Migater, near side, well in his own half. Haynes wins it and then loses out. Here's Godet, looking to go long. Not a lot of imagination on that pass towards Paul. Picked back up easily by Keenan. Now here's Ben Cannon. He wants to go long. Held onto it a bit too long and just barely got away from Lucas Lehman, who was bearing down. He's able to get it towards the other side to Keenan, who fires one towards the back post. He wanted Haynes, well dealt with by Solomon Lehman. Second ball picked up by Thompson. Now Mason Haynes is able to turn and stare down the left back, it is the left back, Ben Larp. Haynes cutting inside, tried to feed it forward into Fowler. One back, that is Fowler now on the ball. He's looking for Kampmeyer. Long ball sent in by the Pirates towards Kampmeyer, who was offside, and it will be a free kick inside the 18-yard box for the Cougars.
That's the problem with those really long balls. The defense can see them.
Yeah.
So they just saw him bring his leg back, and he stepped up, and he was off.
Sent long by the Cougars towards Gopal. Header one in the air by Tegenfeld-Foman. Now here is, I believe that's August Kampmeyer on the far side. He stumbled a couple times, but Vashon come away with the ball. Thompson swings it wide for Haynes. Vashon certainly starting on the front foot in the second half. Haynes' attempted through ball knocked off the head of Harp, and Vashon have a throw-in.
Well, I hope JT just said, keep putting balls through. You know, they're not really stopping them. It looks like we're trying to do a little bit more building on his back, taking a breath, which is good. It gives the player confidence.
And it slows down the game, and it doesn't allow Cascade Christian to play with their momentum, which is huge for them.
Well, they love playing a high-pressure game. They just have to get set up to do it.
Sent long by Keenan off the throw. Header one by Solomon Lehman. Thompson gets the second ball. I think he thought Keenan was going to get there. Cleared away by Harp. Pursue it is Finn Cannon, who sends it back in. Thompson picks it up off of a deflection. In possession of the right-hand side, trying for some tricks, and will win a throw-in, Lewis Thompson.
That was a good play. I mean, he had 2 or 3 guys on him. He ended up getting a free throw.
Keenan comes all the way across to add his considerable arm strength into the range of opportunities. Taken in by Keenan towards Tegenfeld-Foman. Cleared away. McLean will take an interest. In the end, he can only head it backwards, but it's picked up by Kampmeyer. Thompson takes it off his foot and finds Newcomb on the far side, who fires one in towards the near post. Sliding challenge by Solomon Lehman was necessary as Tegenfeld-Foman was bearing down. Now here's Lucas Lehman. He loses out to Oscar Kopmeigeter, and then Ben Harp getting the right side of Mason Haynes to draw the contact and win the free kick.
That was great defense by Oscar. He came back, tracked the guy back, because he was gone. If Oscar hadn't slowed him down, that guy was ripping down the side here on the left side. Good defensive effort.
Free kick for the Cougars, 25 yards inside their own half. Straight towards Lewis Thompson, who wanted to find Haynes. Good step by Solomon Lehman to get there ahead of the Vashon attacker, who at the minute is on a break. Now here's Pierce Fowler operating off of center forward. He gives it to Avery McLean. He just barely beats the Cascade Christian defender to it. Kampmeyer's pass backwards was overhit, but Keenan will have a leisurely jog to get back and retrieve it.
Now you can see them do the high press here. See how they're kind of all working together to push up? Because the ball's in our corner, but they're not putting pressure yet. They're trying to figure out a way to get numbers on the ball.
Kennan forward into Thompson. Looked to flick it first time into Tegenfeld-Foman. Cleared only as far as Thompson again, who's touched it in a direction that he can run in, but it's easy for Lumen to come off his line, but he hasn't cleared it out of bounds like I think he intended. Thompson, though, shielding Solomon from behind, and that will be a throw-in for Vashon.
We're doing long throws from the 40 now?
Oh, yeah, anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere for Keenan.
Well,
I think it might be a tactical decision based on how iffy they've looked defending balls in towards their back line.
Well, you know, the last couple of times they've come.
Oh, we got an opportunity here. Can Fowler get to it? No, we can't. Again, Solomon Lehman deals with it. Thompson now with the ball at the edge of the 18. Goes for low. It was blocked by Fowler, who's still on the ball. Fowler goes for goal, and Fowler makes it 3. And that one felt like it was coming.
Yeah.
It's been all Vashon in this second half, and they have reached the reward. 3-1 to the Pirates.
Here we go. It's good. We look really good. They look to me like they're trying to. They're reactive off what Vashon's doing now. Vashon's got the ball. They're thinking, okay, when they get it, and they get it in this spot, this one spot, right or left, we're going to close them down. The problem is they're forgetting all the other stuff that Vashon's going to do. They're just kind of hoping to pick the ball off from them in a dangerous area. But we're a very dangerous team in the attack.
Well, will Vashon be able to exercise the demon that haunted them last year? Could not get the better of Cascade Christian when it mattered. Maybe this will be different. I'm sure this will be the team we'll see in the district final.
I'm sure.
I don't see them losing. I guess the third most likely would probably be Bellevue Christian, but they have beaten Bellevue Christian. This team certainly looks better.
Oh, they beat Bellevue. Was it 5-2, 5-3?
Yeah, I think it was 5-3. It was a high-scoring one. Now cutting in is Lucas Lehman. Has it taken off of him by Tegenfeld-Foman. It falls to Harp on the near side. Advancing from his fullback role. Doesn't really have any options on and can only flick it into Kennan, who picks it up and looks to pick out Pierce Fowler moving forward. Come back by Thompson in midfield, who plays it safe and checks it back to Keenan. Pressure coming from JP Gua over on the far side. Keenan nonchalantly toes it wide for Newcomb. Back again, here is Keenan, who will hoist it long towards Haynes. Haynes will take an interest here. He's onside, Mason Haynes. Shoulders away one defender. Drop of the shoulder. He's burned him. Haynes is in the box. He squared it across. It's Fowler. It's 4. What a goal.
There you go.
And that really might be that.
I think it is that.
Mason Haynes having one of his games of the season. Fowler's got 2. But that goal was all about the long ball from Gavin Keenan. And then Mason Haynes completely sending whoever that was. Lovely drop of the shoulder.
Well, he beat a guy when the ball was served in. Then he beat the second guy, and it went one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And instead of trying to shoot, he just rolled it across the goal.
Rolled it across for Fowler, who it would have been harder to miss from there.
Yeah, it was a... At first I thought, oh, this could be offside because he rolled it forward instead of back. But Fowler's so fast. He is onside by yards.
Yeah. And I think at this point, Cascade Christian likely won't have too many answers.
Yeah.
As it's picked back up by Newcomb. Under heavy pressure, Isaac Newcomb. He goes down. The referee gives a free kick, which I think is a bit generous. Newcomb was in a lot of trouble there.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, I stand corrected. He's given a free kick the way of Cascade Christian. Well, this is their way back in it.
Possibly, but their service has been really poor.
They don't quite have anyone to send it in.
I feel like they must have lost a senior who could actually serve the ball because they were deadly last year. And this year, they haven't got anything close.
I think it was Kyle Hughes who would take their set pieces.
Is he gone now?
Yeah, he graduated.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad
Lofts it in right at Marshall Wade.
You know, he's got to drop it in between. Of course, Marshall's so big.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Here's Haynes. Bit of a nifty pass from him, but McLean, one of Avery McLean's best assets is he will make a really bad pass look just fine.
Yeah.
Because he will control it no matter what. Not sure what Haynes is thinking there. He's giving it straight to the other team, and Cascade Christian can look to counter through Brandon Law. It falls to a Cascade Christian Cougars who look to line one up from range. According to the referee, took a deflection, and the Cougars will have a corner. Yeah. I think Haynes may be getting a little too comfortable there.
Well, you know, you do have a bit of a cushion. I mean, we don't want to. We're not playing afraid. Let's go with that. Mm-hmm. We're playing with a lot of confidence. I'd rather see us play with confidence, but a little more focused.
I would say so. Played in towards the back post by the Cougars. Not a bad one. It fell to Kennan, who was able to get it clear, and in towards Haynes, who wins the first touch and then slips against Landon Dubois, and then getting a bit too aggressive with Dubois, and Cascade Christian have a free kick.
That could have almost been a yellow.
Yeah, that did seem slightly retaliatory.
It did. I mean, he tried to make a nice touch on the through ball, missed it. Guy took it from him, and at that point it looked like a chop.
Well, we'll see what Billy Huff can do from here. He's curled one in towards the box. It's not a bad ball, and it's gone all the way through to J.P. Gua, who turns, and I honestly think he was going for goal on a ridiculous spinning volley. It's picked up and cleared by the Pirates, and Cascade Christian will have a throw in near side, halfway in between the byline and the halfway line.
This is a great opportunity because they're throwing everything forward now. Mm-hmm. It's a good opportunity for Vashon. Can we deal with somebody who's decent, who's throwing everything at us? Yeah. I mean, the kitchen sink is coming out any minute now.
Harp, back to Dubois. Passes it straight to Kampmeyer, and he and Colt Holloway can push forward here. Kampmeyer takes it over to his left-hand side. He wants it on his right, cutting in, still going. Kampmeyer ran into traffic, but it falls to McLean. He touched in. Holloway blocked off the line. Holloway nearly got there, but Cascade Christian cleared. Listen, they have gotten away. No, they haven't. Picked back up by McLean in towards
quick, go.
Kampmeyer, who couldn't get it. Cleared away only as far as Thompson. Now here's Colt Holloway back in towards Thompson. It's behind him. Good first touch by Thompson. He spins and goes for who he wanted that near post. Couldn't quite keep it down out for a goal kick.
You know, we're starting to pick up these bad clearances by them, and we're just attacking them. So we're trying to punish. I mean, we've already got one of the goals for punishing them when they made a bad clearance.
I think the tactical issue for Cascade Christian is they're leaving. We spoke about it at halftime. They're leaving Sammy Gaudette hung out to dry in the midfield. He is all on his own. He needs someone dropping back with him, but the other two central players for Cascade Christian in the midfield, they want to play like 10. So he has no support when it's cleared, and he has to battle in the midfield for it against 3 Pirates.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, they're trying to play out of the back, and it's just not working because we've got too many people in there. They don't have enough.
Here goes Kampmeyer, cuts in, lines one up, it's blocked. McLean picks it up on the far side.
Uh-oh. Okay. But then again, just drop back, you guys.
Finkennon does exactly that and wins the attempted through ball. Keenan now. Back to Kennan. Now Newcomb. Vashon content at this point in the game with just possessing in their own defensive area until they weren't. One back by Lucas Lehman, cutting inside, looking for an angle to shoot, which wasn't bad. Fired over the crossbar by Lucas Lehman, and it will be a Vashon goal kick.
I think he should have taken it when he had the shot. He got the ball about 25, got to the 20, put a shot, tried to beat another player. Tough angle.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't a bad effort. He got the power. Didn't quite pick out the bar corner, but yeah, it was a decent effort.
You know, he looked like a Vashon player. That's what Vashon does really well. We get the ball from outside, come inside, beat a player, then start cranking shots.
I mean, he really has felt like their most threatening player on the ball. Obviously, Gopal is their target moving forward, although now it looks like he's gone to center back here, Ezekiel Gopal. Yeah, they've switched things up. They've moved Gopal back. They're going to try something different as they're trying to pick out Lehman, and Todd Bigeter had to make a bit of a hurried clearance. It slices off of his left foot, and Cascade Christian have a corner.
Yeah, that was a good run. Player came from the right side, came across the field. Player to the left side. Make a diagonal run across, and Oscar followed him. A lot of players don't follow him, and Oscar did a great job. Otherwise, that player was in. We've done that a lot to people, by the way, if you're wondering where we've seen that before.
Left-footed in swinger towards the back post. Not a bad ball. Keenan well up to it. Great defensive header by Gavin Keenan, and the secondary clearance comes from Oscar Cobb-Migeter. Now it's Isaac Newcomb cutting in from the far side. Lofting one towards the back post. He wants Thompson. Gopal got a head to it, but it falls to Lewis Thompson, but across came Ezekiel Gopal and did a very good job. Over his pass, not so much. Picked back up by Cobb-Migeter. Now here's Knott feeding it through in towards Colt all the way, but easy off his line for the goalkeeper, Lumen.
Colt had needed to make a diagonal run on that. He tried to run straight, and it wasn't going to work.
Now here's Newcomb on the far side, surrounded by three black shirts. He's still battling, and he's won a free kick.
You know, the last couple of services by Cascade have been much better. I think when we play them again, they need to focus on that in their practices.
Yeah, I think hopefully that'll be one of the areas that they work on.
And we need to work on defending those because they're getting better at them.
And they won't just be thinking about the district final, right? They're favorited. There's two Nisqually teams go to state, and they're favorited to be the second. As Keenan lost in a decent free kick. He wanted Holloway, headed upwards by Cascade Christian. The second ball is plucked out of the air by Lumen. He airs it out towards the back post. Missed initially by Gavin Keenan. Vashon have a few numbers back as it's hooked in the general direction of Jose Nobrega, waves off his line. And gets there, but just stepped outside of his 18-yard box, so that'll be a free kick for the Cougars. I don't think it'll be a card because it was unintentional, really. He just stumbled out of the range. And I'll tell you what, this is tougher than you think. When the free kick is right on the 18-yard line, right on the 18-yard box and not wide, really, one way or the other, it's really difficult because Vashon are going to put like 5 in the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so challenging to get the dip from that close range.
It's really hard. You know, you're almost, like I said, especially high school soccer, you're almost better off just whacking the ball below knee height, hard into a corner, and just hope it rebounds off of somebody or goes through. I don't think anybody on this field is going to be able to drop it over the wall.
Everybody's grouped together right now. I'm not totally sure what the ref has in mind here. I think somebody was maybe getting some sort of altercation with each other.
I get a feeling that they were calling for a card on Marshall.
I bet.
And they're like, right now, he may give him a yellow. I mean, he was outside the penalty area, and he did take away a chance to score.
Here's the problem. If you give Marshall Wade a yellow, you're guaranteeing that the game stops for a few minutes, because now we got to put gloves on somebody else. We got to get them in a jersey. We got to put them back because Marshall Wade getting a yellow means he has to sub off momentarily.
Right.
So we wouldn't have a goalkeeper. So we said, well, hold on a minute, guys. We got to switch this up, and then the game just
Well, I mean, the other team may be saying, hey, that's a yellow card. And the referee could be making this argument all you want. But now he's pushing them 10 yards back, which is a good call. You could get this up and
I guess
over.
it's not the worst. It's a little farther wide than I initially thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was dead center, too.
I didn't think it was quite dead center, but I thought it was inside the D. This one is a good yard or so to the right of the D. So this is actually kind of a left-footer's dream.
Yeah, if I had two players, I'd be telling the left-footer, look at the far post.
Looks like it's Blah, but he's left it for the second Cascade Christian man to hit it. It was blocked by the wall. Not a great free kick, kind of hip level for the wall, easy block. And after a couple of headers, Vashon get it clear. All the way puts a toe to it. Kampmeyer will take an interest, but that one goes all the way back to Ezekiel Gopal, who sends a testing ball long. He's looking for J.P. Gua, who eventually gets to ahead of Gavin Keenan, trying to flick it up.
Got to do a trick first.
Yeah, I got to do his trick. I'm not totally sure what he was looking at there. Vashon collapsed around him and one throw-in.
I think he was trying to do a flip. A flick and a trick.
But in his defense, he didn't really have runners.
Well, he could have laid it back a little quicker.
Probably could.
There was somebody looking right at him saying, here, give it to me now. Again, I think he has to do a trick first.
Shrestha comes in to replace Kampmeyer over on the left.
Oh, good.
Well, if you're just now tuning in, Vashon with a substantial 4-1 lead here away at Cascade Christian. Thanks for being with us on KVSH LP 101.9 FM, Voice of Vashon, voiceofvashon.org. 2 goal scorers tonight, 2 for Haynes, 2 for Fowler. And the 1 goal for Cascade Christian going the way of Ezekiel Gopal, as Connaught has been picked up on this near side, cutting away from Landon Dubois. Connaught tried to play it low into the path of Shrestha, well dealt with by the back line of Cascade Christian, who cleared their lines. And the Pirates will have a throw-in far side by the 50.
Wasn't a bad idea. I think Shrestha should have gone in farther. There was nobody on him. He just thought he saw a run.
Keenan fires one in at Tegenfeld-Foman, unable to control it, but it's picked back up by Thompson. He tried the reverse pass into Tegenfeld-Foman. Won by Godet. Now here's Cascade Christian in possession in the midfield. Touched wide into Landon Dubois. 3 Pirates applying pressure. Dubois goes back to Gopal. Now here's Dubois again, under pressure from Fowler, and it was Connaught. 2 hands in the back from Ryland Connaught, and then a little bit of a cheeky toss of the ball back to Landon Dubois, who doesn't take the bait.
Well, it was a bit of a football hike into a player who wasn't ready.
Yeah, but Connaught knew what he was doing. He's just trying to get a rise out of Dubois, who does well to keep his head.
Yeah.
Gopal sends it long, headed backwards by Kennan. Didn't quite time his jump right.
Well, the player pushed him from behind. I mean, I'm surprised the referee didn't call it. Maybe the angle is bad, but it was pretty straightforward. We had 2 players on the ball. Player behind him pushed him, went off his head and out of bounds.
Throwing for the Cougars. Harp steps up to take it. It's about 15 yards away from the byline. Harp lofts a long throw into the mixer. Nodded on by Cascade Christian. It was on target, and Marshall Wade had to backpedal a little bit to get his arms to it.
Tall guys. Good to be tall sometimes. Mm-hmm. That was good hands by him.
Yeah. He's had a good game. He really has.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got to work on how to come out on the ball. But take that out. He's been great.
Here's Kennan. Dangerous pass into McLean, who did all he could, but Ma's come away with it. Tegenfeld-Foman recovers and does enough to halt the progress of Brandon Ma. He gives it back to Lucas Lehman, who lofts in a decent ball towards the back post, but it had way too much airtime, and without much trouble, Wade comes across and grabs it.
Well, it's our right midfielder who didn't come in. He kind of was running wide, and this was going to go to the corner flag. He should have really come in on that one, but he didn't. And Marshall did a great job.
Keenan, long towards Holloway, over his head. It was blocked by Gopal. Almost came back to Holloway, but Gopal gets it pretty clear offside here on the center forward, Jose Nobrega. And Vashon will have a free kick, as this game is kind of dying at this point.
Well, they're getting desperate, and we're getting, we just want to win the game.
Yeah. What's your watch say?
Well, I can't see it. Let's see.
8:49, is that what it says?
Yeah, basically 8:50.
8:50, so if it started at 7:30, 10-minute halves, that would mean we're about an hour into the game, so maybe 20-ish minutes to go in this one. Cobb-Magater down the right-hand side. Forward into Holloway. Pressure from behind. Holloway goes back to Oscar Cobb-Magater, who couldn't control it. Now Nobrega finding Lucas Lehman, who tried the outside of the football. He wanted to pick out Nobrega. Kennan does well to put himself in between Nobrega and the ball, who seems like he had a couple choice words for Kennan there, but it will be a free kick for Vashon nonetheless.
There's a little bit of play going on, but basically both teams are trying to keep it out of their own penalty areas and get it into the other team's penalty area. They're shortcutting the game. I mean, there's other things that happen in a game besides kicking it into the other team's end of the field.
So it looks like they have made a switch. It looks like they've kind of switched to a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1, whatever you want to call it. But the main aspect of that switch is they've actually given help to the center midfielder, but it's too late.
Yeah.
You got to see that sooner.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Gil Teobaldo and his tactics, but I think he's got to see that sooner. That switch has to come, if not at halftime, like 20 minutes into the match.
Well, just as we struggle with their forward, they're struggling with our speed forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, speed kills.
Yeah. Good ball forward as Keenan does a very good job of nodding it back to Marshall Wade, allowing him to pick it up. Keenan got pushed in the back for it, but he's quickly back up to his feet and now in possession.
Again, they're just trying to get him behind. We're trying to get him behind them. Both teams want to score a goal.
Really?
That's all they want to do. That whole soccer thing, love the beautiful game. We're not interested in that right now.
No.
We want the ball in front of the
extended arm from Rylan Connaught on Lucas Lehman. That will be a free kick. Connaught's getting close to a booking, and honestly, I think he's lucky to not have one at this point.
Yeah, I think the referee could have done a couple of yellows here.
Mm-hmm. Kampmeyer's going to check back in for Vashon. He replaces Adrian McLean, who seems a little bit off it in these last few games. Like, he's been okay when he's gotten on the ball, but he hasn't really gotten on the ball too much.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the midfield. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of fighting.
Free kick sent long by Lehman. Not a bad one towards the back post. Keenan gnaws it upward. A test for Wade, which he passes.
He is really good and tall.
He has been one of our best players today. He's really stepping up.
He did a good job.
He's playing golf last year.
Really?
Yeah. He's quite a good golf player.
Well, I'll bet he can hit it a mile with that wingspan.
Yeah. Newcomb migrating forward from left back. Finds Thompson in midfield. Goes back to Kennan, who lobs it long. He's looking for Kampmeyer. Keeper commits and gets there. Well done by Lumen to time his challenge as it takes a bounce off the clearance. Second ball picked up by the Cougars. However, the header rolls all the way into the arms of Marshall Wade.
It's beginning to look like football kickoff.
Yeah.
One team launches it, the next team gets it. Next team launches it.
Yeah, it's even getting a bit lazy from Vashon, who just send one in the direction of August Kampmeyer, who actually had a decent chance of getting there. The keeper had to come outside of his 18-yard box and kick it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, well, both teams are not doing anything wrong. They're doing what they should be doing. Mm-hmm. Vashon wants to keep it as far from their goal as possible. They've got a 3-goal lead. The other team needs to get it in front of our goal, so there you go. Vashon's in really a no-lose situation.
Look at the difference of this here, though, against Charles Wright. Marshall Wade, when the ball was in the other half, would step all the way up near the halfway line. Right now, he is firmly planted inside his own 18-yard box. Throw-in taken long by Keenan. Tegenfeld-Fulman got there but couldn't direct the header. Cleared away by the Cougars. And Vashon will let that one roll for another throw-in.
Well, I think the other team on the kickoff tried to shoot it over Marshall's head. He still plays out quite far. Maybe they were listening to our broadcast.
You know what? I bet they were.
And they said, this goalkeeper goes out way too far.
Thompson trying to feed it into Kampmeyer just ahead of him. That one's easy for Lumen off his line.
Well, we're going to play these guys again, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll see them in the district final. We'll see
at least one.
What changes they make.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll see them in state. They often put teams from the same conference on opposite sides of the bracket.
Oh, that's good.
Now here's Isaac Newcomb pushing forward, inverting from left back and getting a little bit too excited there. He's gone down in a heap. Cascade Christian can counter, and they're doing a good job at it. Down the right-hand side, here come the Cougars. Ball towards the back post is a decent one, but Carmigater was aware of the danger and cleared it away. He's been another one of Vashon's standout players tonight.
He's been spectacular. I don't know if he'll win player of the game, but he has been fantastic.
And it looks like somebody's cramped up. As you can expect in this match, looks like it's Tegenfeld-Fulman who's down.
Okay.
Getting a couple of pushes from his teammate on that on those hamstrings or calf or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think Oscar's done a really good. like I said, I don't know player of the game, but he has played the best game I've seen him ever play.
Long throw and knotted back wide by Kennan. Marshall Wade could have gotten that if he had given Kennan a shout. Clearance by Connaught goes out for a Cougar throw.
Another long throw. That was a tough one. Marshall's got to either come out and get those or he's going to stay back on his line. He stepped forward about 4 or 5 yards off his line. I think it's flicked on. It's in the goal.
Cleared away, and then it's sending in the volley. Not a terrible effort by Solomon Lamb, and I think he knuckled that, actually, off the volley, which is a pretty impressive technique, but it was always rising high and wide of the top right-hand corner.
Well, it wasn't going to score because Marshall's 6'5".
Yeah, but, I mean, if you get enough on it and get it in the corner.
Yeah, that didn't have enough. That was a beautiful strike, by the way. It was like a photographer's dream.
Mm-hmm.
Looked beautiful, struck the ball right through it. Wonderful, but it wasn't a score.
Here comes the pressure from Lucas Lame, and Kennan read it, but couldn't get the pass off the tag and felt foam. He's now on the ground now trying to do some defending from the floor, and the referee's having none of that. As Cascade Christian will have another free kick, and man, they've got to have at least 20 at this point. So it's going to be 5 yards back from the 18-yard box and pretty wide to the left.
You know, if they had Isaac on their team, I'll bet he would just stroke this into the far post.
Yeah.
On the ground.
We'll see what they do. I think from this range, I like the right footer. I like him trying to pick out the spot between the back post and where the players are going to run.
Yeah, that's usually where they hit it, because if Marshall touches it out, it'll hit a body. That's left footer.
They faked it. No, and then it is the right footer, and after all that faking, he kicks it straight at Marshall Wade.
That was not the best free kick.
No.
He'll do better next time.
I'm sure he will. That was Lucas Lehman, who has been, in my opinion, their best player tonight. Again, here comes Cascade Christian, though. Vashon just getting a little bit complacent as they're living pretty with their 3-goal lead at the minute.
Exactly. Vashon's not trying to do anything other than get out of this game with the 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they're really not. I'm not blaming anybody or saying anything negative about it. They've got a 3-goal lead in a game they've got to win. They're just trying to win the game. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's certainly not pretty. But you know what? Would you take this win, or would you have us play pretty and lose?
Oh, I take the win. I take the win. This will be great for our state seeding. This, I'll tell you what, I think this kind of confirms, unless I guess we'll have to play them again in districts. I was going to say this, oh no! Oh, that was almost an own goal from Gavin Keenan. It'll go out for a corner. Geez. Not sure what happened there. I was going to say this almost confirms that we'll host state. But like if we lose, what if we lose to them in the district finals?
Well, anything can happen. But
well, you think about the games, right? So after this, we have Bainbridge, which if we draw or lose that one, they're the top-rated team in 2A. I don't think we'll be faulted for that all that much. Then we got Seattle Christian, who will beat.
Yeah. Well, I think four goals will be.
Oh, they got a chance here. Vashon haven't cleared it. Tough angle. And spinning to try and make contact with it was Jose Nobrega. Couldn't wrap his foot around it in the way he wanted, and it goes wide of the near post for a goal kick.
You know, I think the next time we play these guys, it could be closer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we scored some great goals.
Yeah, we've just been so deadly going forward. Mason Haynes, you know, with a massive shout-out to Marshall Wade, Mason Haynes would probably be my shout for man of the match.
And yeah, I hate to say it, yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I think Mason has been terrifying. He's hit the post twice.
2 goals, and an assist that was basically a goal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he got an assist for the goal with a tap-in.
Yeah. Well, he made the goal.
Yeah,
it could have been 3 goals.
He made that. He could have 5.
To be honest, like that's why I was saying, Oscar could have gotten player of the game if Mason hadn't basically destroyed the other team.
Keenan comes across to...
And the defense has kind of gotten their act together a little bit.
Yeah.
But the game has changed. It's not the same game anymore.
No, it's not. It's slowed down.
Yeah. Well, it's not pretty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you know, meat and potatoes game. You know, we want to win it. You want to win it. And they're both going to get their wish.
Long throw and taken by the Cougars, headed down by Gavin Keenan, and a push in the back called on the Cougars, so Vashon will have a free kick inside their own box.
Yeah.
Or just outside of it, either way.
Yeah, I don't love what I've been seeing since we scored our fourth goal, but,
But again, you just said it. We scored our fourth goal.
Yeah, we're trying to win the game. We're not in this to get, aren't we, pretty pictures.
Right.
There's another probably long ball. There it is.
Kennan, I think he wanted to get under it a lot more than he did. Cleared away into Thompson, who's done very well winning the second ball for Vashon. And he's done extremely well to turn away from pressure and then pick out a peach of a pass into Isaac Newcomb, who tried to outlet Tress. The keeper committed, took out his own player, but got the ball.
Did he? I thought our guy knocked him.
No, the keeper slid in, and that guy got flying.
They want to try and score goals, but they're not going to do it. If they're super lucky, they'll get one more goal.
Yeah.
They're not going to get 3 goals.
I mean, we're really winded down here. I think with the way this game is going, the ref will not be too willing to add too much in the way of stoppage time, and we're at 9 o'clock now, so we're really getting down to it, like 10 minutes or so.
I would say, yeah.
Free kick coming for the Cougars. Just wide to the right, exactly 10 yards inside the Pirate half, so they will be able to get this in the box. But their tallest player, Ezekiel Gopal, is actually the one taking it.
Well, they got a big player up front, too, and I think they're going to hit it on a straight line and have one of their players run a diagonal underneath it and hopefully flick it on. Oops, who's coming off?
Substitution for the Cougars, I think, maybe an injury-based one.
So, or is this the guy who got the yellow? Who was sent off?
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I think he may have
floated in by Gopal. Keenan again does very well to get up there. He's had a very good second half, Gavin Keenan.
Yeah.
Got pretty much took the errors out of his game. Now on the left-hand side, here is that new entry for Cascade Christian, looking, knows Ben Harp. He tried to get away from Holloway and did so. Tegenfeld Foreman and Cannot now fighting for it. Lehman comes away with it, and the referee will give a free kick here. And on accumulation of fouls, it is finally time for Ryland Cannot to get into the book. and I think it. He was maybe lucky that he lasted this long.
I think so. The referee could have pulled the trigger, at least 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was the player who did the hike into the player on the field.
Yeah. Then he shoulder checked that guy.
Yeah.
Avery McLean comes in to replace him.
Oh, good. Uh-oh.
Free kick taken short. Vashon weren't ready for that. Solomon Lehman angles one in. Not a bad ball. Kind of looks like handball. Touched back in by the Cougars and just over the bar from J.P. Guas.
Well, if I was the coaching staff, I would make sure the players understand that this game it can't be duplicated. They have to play a different game the next time. You know what I mean? They can't just say, we beat them 4-1 last time. Let's just do it again. I don't see that in the cards. They're going to have to figure out what they can do better.
Because it wasn't the prettiest win in the world. Like we really beat their back line when it came down to it. But other than that, it was a lot closer. Honestly, we did well in the midfield, not totally because we played well, but because their tactics made no sense.
Yeah. They left one guy against too many players and allowed us to put things together and then do the splits. They have the same kind of players. They have players very much like Mason who can run at you at an angle and basically look for shots.
Right. Cobb-Magater sends it long. Holloway will take an interest, but Gopal's there well ahead of him. Turning away from Holloway and Shrestha. Gopal then floats a lovely ball in towards the box. Ma took an interest, but his header was backwards, and Cobb-Magater clears. This will be a tough one for Lambden Dubois, as that is a huge coming together between Dubois and Holloway, and the referee immediately coming in.
That's a card.
Yeah, reaching for his pocket very quickly, and this will be a yellow card for Colt Holloway.
Yeah. That's called the defenseless player.
Yeah, that was a blindside situation.
Player going up. I think the guy was just going to head the ball out of bounds at best, and Colt just came like a train in the air and just creamed him.
Well, the free kick will come eventually for Cascade Christian, deep inside their own half, 35 yards.
I think they might play this one short, and then because they'll get an extra 10, 15 yards, and then do the long ball. Because I don't think he can kick it 65, 70 yards. Well, no.
We'll see. Yeah, they have taken it short.
Yeah.
Dubois back to Gopal. Here comes the pressure from Kampmeyer. Gopal opens up. That pass was blocked by Kampmeyer. And that's full time. And you can see what it means to the Pirates. They have finally exercised their demons as Thompson does a little too much celebrating to the away crowd. Well, they could make the argument that they're still, I see, they're waving at us. Well, good job, guys. Good win, good win. Very good. It was a good performance. A convincing 4-1 win for Vashon. Mason Haynes, Marshall Wade, and Oscar Cogmaget are my three best players of the match. But I would ease it the way of Mason Hayes. I mean, he was just unstoppable.
Well, you basically contribute 3 of the 4 goals.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dangerous, hit the post twice. He was a headache.
And what does that mean psychologically for Vashon? Like, not just beating another good team, but a team that really had our number last year, and that weighed heavy on these players.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always important to win games. I've been saying that forever. You don't want to just play because it's pretty. You're playing to win the game. You do what you need to do. That doesn't mean you try and play ugly, but you do what you have to do. And they did that tonight. It wasn't really a Vashon game, but it was a win. Yeah. It was a Vashon win.
Well, it really was. It really was a good performance. I mean, I just think, obviously, there's plenty of things to work out. The first half was not as stable defensively. I think, obviously, having Cade Miller out was a loss.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we forced it a little bit when we didn't need to. We got stuck, we got held up in the pace of the game and the emotion of the game, and we didn't really overcome that.
Yeah.
We just happened to be better than them. I think if we play a team like Cascade Leavenworth, we will suffer greatly if we can't sort of hold our emotions at the beginning of the game in that sort of environment, because I don't think we'll have as many opportunities going forward.
Well, Royal and Cascade Leavenworth are different teams than this. I mean, it's like a team from another planet.
Yeah. But I also think there's probably will be less emotion in those games, even if it's the state final, because this is just a game that Vashon not just wanted to win; they needed to win this game.
Yeah,
they really needed to win this game, and they absolutely did so. It really was all that you could hope for from a Pirate standpoint.
Oh, it's fantastic. Nobody's going to remember the pass here or the pass there.
No,
they're going to look at the score and go 4-1. Same thing with the rankings. We could now move up to first in the state.
We probably will, because Cascade Christian were 10th.
Yeah, they were 10th. We scored 4 goals. They take that into account. On
Sure. Yeah. We'll move up. We'll move up probably to the top.
Yeah, or near it.
Yeah, near that. We should move above. We should be above Raymond Southend anyway. I think those guys are frauds. But
I'll be sure and tell them when I see them in the state tournament.
Well, yeah, when they beat us.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, they won't make it out of the first round. Well, I think that's it from us. We don't really can't rush for a ferry. We ain't making that 9:30, unfortunately. But but that means we can take our leisurely time, go over, talk to the team. They know they aren't making it either, so they'll take their time.
Yeah.
Go celebrate with the team a little bit. I mean, they're buzzing right now.
Oh, it's great. Winning is fun. I said that last year. I got the impression from some players playing good is better than winning, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, you want to win.
You got to do.
I mean, it depends on the game. Yeah. Like I think against Charles Wright, playing better is better than winning.
Yeah.
But against Cascade Christian, no, winning is better.
No, winning is all anybody wants.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it from us. Final thank you to Dan Schuler back in the studio on Island.